We're 4 issues into what is supposed to be the biggest comic book event of the summer, One World Under Doom, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it, whether it's good or it's bad. Here's a hint. It's not very good, but it is quickly developing into just an enormous dumpster fire for Marvel Comics. 9 months of people not talking about your big event that's supposed to be impacting the entire Marvel Comics universe. DC Comics has the anti-life equation. Marvel has the anti-hype equation. Like, there's nothing to get excited about. No one's talking about this except for this stupid cover that came out this past week. Although they have decided to stuff a bunch of extra stuff into it as of late. Of course, they're books that nobody wants to read and had no intention of ever buying. But hey, they're One World Under Doom tie-ins now. They're going to be great. Said nobody ever. I warned Marvel Comics. I said, hey, just because Ryan North isn't absolutely crapping the bed in his Fantastic Four run, which wasn't exactly a great Fantastic Four run, it was just kind of bearable. There was almost no adventure in it. There was no real science in it. It was just a bunch of misadventures and hijinks with mostly Johnny Storm. You give him the big event, what should be the biggest event of the decade, the most marketable villain that they fucking have, Dr. Doom, about to be starring in a movie, and they fucking totally dropped the ball. This thing is such a... Oh, it's so bad. But we'll talk about it today. Of course, we're going to mock it more than anything. Marvel's One World Under Doom event has officially hit the post-irony stage. For the past month, the only buzzworthy thing to come out of this supposed flagship storyline is a controversial cover from Superior Avengers number 5, featuring yet another gay kiss. This time between Dr. Doom's son and a multiversal Killmonger variant. Unsurprisingly, this gimmick was cooked up by Steve Fox, one of Marvel's gay activist writers. Fans aren't talking about this because they're excited or intrigued. They're discussing it because they're annoyed by Marvel's transparent attempt to generate cheap clicks through forced controversy. And this is literally the only thing I've heard anyone even notice when it comes to One World Under Doom. Oh my goodness, this stupid cover. Who fucking cares? We've gotten so many of these stupid sexuality reveals. It means nothing in comic books anymore. It's just another reason to make fun of Marvel Comics and really point out, why do you keep hiring people like Steve Fox? He's not there to write great superheroes. He's there to make as many characters gay as possible. This is the guy that created, and I'm not lying or exaggerating, seamstress Spider-Man. I think there's a different name, but it's a gay version of Spider-Man that makes dresses for Janet Van Dyne. That shit's real. That's a Steve Fox fucking original. And somehow this guy keeps getting work. I just don't get it. Does anybody even care anymore? I don't think anybody, certainly at Marvel, even cares. They can't do one thing to get people excited about Dr. Doom taking over the entire fucking 616. Adding insult to injury, the event itself has devolved into a painfully obvious political allegory. In One World Under Doom number 3, it's revealed that the world leaders weren't manipulated or coerced into backing Doom. They did it willingly. Clearly a finger-wagging critique of real-world political choices. While writer Ryan North claims Doom isn't supposed to represent Trump, the parallels are completely impossible to ignore. Marvel Comics readers aren't interested in being lectured or having their voting habits questioned through a freaking comic book event. Doom is arguably Marvel's most compelling villain, charismatic, ambitious, and frighteningly intelligent. Fans should be terrified that he's ruling the Marvel Universe, not being forced to endure thinly veiled political propaganda in their comic books. And it's been just so painful. Issue 3 was clearly Ryan North's condemnation of people that voted for things that he didn't like. You're fucking Canadian, dude. Why don't you get out of our politics? Do you hear me talking about your latest election like I give a flying fuck? I don't want to hear about that shit in One World Under Doom either. I just want to see Doom, the actual Dr. Doom, take over the entire fucking world, and the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and even the X-Men brought down to their knees before they overcome it and obviously defeat him in the end. That's the story they should be telling, but we really haven't done that. Apparently he promised everybody everything they wanted. So they just freely went along with it, but clearly he's doing it for evil purposes, but they've forgotten to show that he's evil. Obviously, the election and the results and everything have freaked a lot of people out. And once again, Marvel are allowing this to basically destroy a big-time event, or what should be a big-time event. Ryan North is like trying to shove in illegal immigration and stuff all into his book. And guess who is the stand-in for illegal immigrants? Fucking vampires. Like, anybody is going to sit there and be like, oh, that Doom is such a bad guy. He wants to kill vampires. Yeah, I'm pretty anti-vampire. I assume everybody in the 616 is pretty enormously anti-vampire, except for some reason the Fantastic Four. They're all out there protecting vampires. And he doesn't realize how enormously stupid this makes him look. It makes the Fantastic Four look like a bunch of jabronis. It makes the Avengers look like a bunch of jabronis. And at this point, if you're 3 issues in and you're getting ready for issue number 4, who are you rooting for? The only people that have really done anything wrong in the entire comic book are the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. They literally tried to assassinate the guy, even though, obviously he was fairly elected. They found that part out. They tried to upstage him, at the UN. He pointed out all the stuff that he was doing to help people. Like, it doesn't seem like he's the bad guy. I don't even... What is this book? It's so stupid. Vampires are illegal immigrants, and we're supposed to be fighting for vampire rights. If I'm an illegal immigrant reading that comic book, I'm going, fuck you, Ryan North. Why are you comparing me to a vampire, saying a vampire is my stand-in? I'm not a monster. I'm not out there sucking people dry of their blood, at least in most cases. But this is the allegory that Ryan North has decided to go upon. And for some reason, because vampires can now walk out during the day, they're all homeless. I don't know. It feels like it would have made their lives easier, not worse. I don't think he gets what vampires are. You know what I mean? He's probably just fucking retarded, to be honest. That's exactly how the book reads. And of course, they're getting more desperate by the day. You want evidence? The desperation surrounding One World Under Doom is so extreme that even Rainbow Rowell's Runaways #3 has been awkwardly shoehorned into the event. If Marvel thought this time would drum up excitement, they've only succeeded in highlighting their desperation. On top of that, Marvel is renaming New Thunderbolts to New Avengers to align it with the crossover, a move clearly intended to leech off the recent MCU film's rebranding. This could have sparked some genuine enthusiasm, except the new series will be penned by Sam Humphries, an utterly forgettable writer even in his prime, let alone now 8 years past relevance. These moves don't bolster excitement, they just underscore how creatively bankrupt the event has become. That's probably a bad way to put it. It was creatively bankrupt from the very beginning. They never even led into the fucking event. The event that leads into this happened in Blood Hunt, which was like 8 or 9 months before One World Under Doom. Yet they never actually led into it. He just became the Sorcerer Supreme by stealing the power from Doctor Strange or extorting it from him. I don't want to be too mean here to Doctor Doom, but then you go to the Fantastic Four and it's just Johnny Storm banging centipedes instead of the Fantastic Four realizing what an enormous calamity this is and trying to undo it. And all of a sudden, boom, Doctor Doom is in charge of the entire world. They forgot to do a setup. And all the tie-ins suck except for Red Hulk, and it's not even that good. It's just kind of bearable. But it's always writers like Rainbow Rowell, Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing. Sam fucking Humphries? We just pulled him off the scrap heap? Yeah, that'll put a lot of asses in seats. Everything they do feels like it's designed to drive people away and take the event less seriously. They never set it up. They didn't kick it off with anything exciting. 3 issues in, they haven't really done anything to make Doctor Doom feel like the villain of the story. Apparently it's going to be Dormammu, shoving politics into the book where it doesn't belong, making vampires allegories of illegal aliens. All these stupid fucking tie-ins and now Runaways, even though the first and second issue aren't tied into One World Under Doom, Runaways 3 is now a part of One World Under Doom. This thing is an enormous clusterfuck, a dumpster fire of epic proportions, and I guess we're just all here to enjoy it. Ultimately, One World Under Doom is shaping up to be Marvel's biggest embarrassment this year. Instead of letting Doom's inherent magnetism drive fan engagement, Marvel has weaponized divisive politics and tired controversy to force readers to pay attention, ironically driving them further away. Fans don't care about Marvel's opinions on voting or its virtue signaling stunts. They care about compelling storytelling, iconic villains, and gripping conflicts. Sadly, none of that is present here. The result, an event that nobody wants, nobody asked for, and certainly nobody will remember fondly. And we still have another 5 months to go before the end of One World Under Doom. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a One World Under Doom Omega issue to make it fucking 10 issues and last another month, because they gotta milk this son of a bitch dry, even though it's quite apparent nobody gives a flying fuck about any of this stuff. Marvel have got to come up with a plan of attack that gets people excited and interested in events again. One World Under Doom is even sadder than Blood Hunt, and Blood Hunt kind of sucked. At least it had some decent art. At least it had some action in it. You don't even really get that in One World Under Doom. It's a lot of people sit around talking and then being embarrassed by Doom because he's right the entire time. But of course, it's all going to be lies in the end because he's Trump. We've all been sold a bill of goods, or not us, the people in the 616. Nobody cares. It is what it is. But I would, as a content creator, love for Marvel to do something to get excited about. It's been years since we had King in Black or anything that people really wanted to fucking read. And that is the sad state, the sad existence of Marvel Comics and certainly all their fans at this point. If you appreciate this kind of hard-hitting criticism about the comic book industry, pointing out an enormous failure on the part of Marvel Comics, you won't see this kind of honesty very many places, and you like to support Think Critical YouTube and that mission, there's one place to be at Think Critical Patreon. There's a link in the video description. There's a button right here, and we got plenty of awesome new podcasts coming out every single day featuring your favorite guest and, of course, yours truly.